Okay, the lights are ready, we're away, out they go, and Josh Wainwright makes no mistakes off the line here. Nicky Wilson though trying to go with him from the second row there. Looks like Sam Osborne's made a good start too. I don't think George Halliday's too far off the money, and you kind of think that Pete Baker knows his way through Richie's on the first corner because he's done it about 7,000 times. Down to Wilson's we go then for the first of 5 laps in this flying race. We look at our cameras, we don't have a great picture, but we can see that's going to be Wainwright out in front. And I'll tell you what, Nicky Wilson not too far off the back of him. They're only a couple of bike lengths back as we come up towards Palmer's. We do know that Nicky knows his way around here. He'd love to put one over on his rival Josh. Josh has beaten him in most of their encounters, but just occasionally Nicky pulls one out of the hat of Brands Hatch as well last year, of course, which basically gave him the Powerbike champion. He is our reigning Powerbike champion, Nicky Wilson, so let's not forget that. He's very quick behind those bars of that Jigsaw, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of them things, isn't it? It doesn't matter if you're, you can lead the whole 10-lap race, you can lead for 9 of it, but if you don't lead it, you can check and flag it. That's it.
Counts to nothing, does it? Well, that's a good little breakaway at the front there. It looks like Wainwright is trying to pull away, but going straight with him all the way around there. It looks like Sam Osborne's in the mix as well as they go onto the back straight. Not quite sure who that is in fourth. That could be Jorge Halliday, I think, as well. George Halliday, sorry. I just see the word, spell it, as pronounce it as I see it. But no, it is George. Maybe I should pronounce it as, what's the word? Phonetically. There we go. There's a big word for me. Yeah.
Oh, Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I know. Don't ask me to spell it though, mate. Right, disappear out of us, so we fill in a little bit of time until we wait to see them round Corums and say duly turn up, and there we go. That's going to be Wainwright from Wilson from Osborne. That is Halliday, I think. It looks quite a white bike from this distance. Over the line we go then. And the front two separated by 0.085 of a second. What a pace they've got. Wainwright, Wilson, it is Osborne, then Halliday, Butterworth. You're right, mate. Callum Manley up to 6th place, ahead of Morgan Creasy and Phil Baker. So it looks like the pupils actually beating the master there, for now at least. Alex Simon, David Krabiecki, Tyler Donovan in 11th, then Barry Mantell, Dan Mercer, and then we've got the retro machine of which Davidson is that? Cam Davidson, there we go. Yep, it's all right. No problems. James Vincer, and then the 48 machine of Aaron Collins as well. Rounds out your top 16. Marty Dello, Ben Cheeseman, Seb Jenkins, Andy Houghton up to up to 20th place. So he's showing us being 2 down, but when in fact he's actually made up 10 places on the opening lap there, Andy. So being disabled doesn't seem to bother him too much, does it?
No, definitely not. I was a little taken aback that you mentioned Morgan Creasy though, because he wasn't entered into the Powerbikes there on the Suzuki. But having a look at the entry list here, he's listed as running the Warwick's Limited Honda CBR 1000. And what that is
this Fireblade?
Yes, yeah, that would be his new Fireblade, his most recent purchase.
He said he wasn't going to go out on that.
He lied.
Let's keep an eye out for him when he comes across, because
it's not the Illuminous yellow.
Yeah, okay, well that's a very, very good clue then, because you're right, the Fireblade was a much darker colour, of course.
Right. That is an ex-Simon Reed British Superstock.
Okay, all good, and you're right, the Fireblade there of Morgan Creasy, he said he was going to leave it parked up, but I tell you, he had such a wretched weekend, but you know what? Let's take the Honda out and give it a bit of a run round. So Morgan going out for another bike to play. Totally unfamiliar with the bike. He did get a run it on Friday. Here we go then, over the line for the end of lap 2. Oh, look at Wilson. He's definitely not letting Wainwright get away with this. This is a very close battle and weed. Wainwright and Wilson. I think Wilson wants to hang on to his champion, the Snet Trophy. Well, I know Wainwright's got an advantage at the moment as he comes across the line with an advantage of 0.128 of a second. But he's pushing on. Manley goes past on Butterworth as well, so that's a change of place. Changing the Clubman as well, of course, because Callum Manley's Clubman rider is up to 5th place. Baker stays where he is down there in 8th, so he's definitely showing these mentor how to go. Yeah, Creasy in 7th place. Is that the second? So this is the second time out of the Fireblade. He was out, must have been out earlier. Yeah. Didn't notice that earlier, but I think I was downstairs when the other race was on. But no, fair play to him. That's impressive stuff.
Yeah, so he's just ahead of Pete Baker, who's if you're in front of Pete Baker around Snetterton, you're not doing too badly, are you? Really?
No, it's definitely a good scout to have, isn't it?
Yeah, they're just making their way out of Agostina's and in towards Hamilton's now, but Pete Baker there with the ever popular, and he's used him for a number of years now, hasn't he? The all blue leathers with the white sleeves.
Oh yeah, not his first set of Crow trees, that's for sure.
Definitely not. at least
first to admit that, to be fair.
He must have stockpiled them then, because I don't know how long Crowtree has been out of business. It must be approaching 10 years now.
Yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah, well, he doesn't crash as much as he used to. He doesn't, not to be fair to Pete Baker, he doesn't crash that often anyway. It's almost an unusual thing to see Pete on the ground, and it's a good thing for him, and obviously for his longevity of his leathers as well. But yeah, Crowtree make a superb set of leathers. You've got to be going some to wreck a pair of Crowtrees, and obviously racing is a good way to find out how much you can wreck them. Right, leaders coming around Corums into Murray's once again. Slight advantage. I think Wainwright is pulling out just, but we're talking fractions of a second here, don't get me wrong. We went from basically half a bike length, now we're out to a tenth of a second last time round. This time the gap goes from 0.128 to 0.399. Osborne and Halliday though, George Halliday looking for his first podium of the weekend, I think, isn't he?
He's having a look at the sniff up the inside of Sam Osborne. Didn't quite make it work that time around then, as it seems to be 2x2 in terms of
exactly
really.
right.
Wainwright and Wilson, then you've got Osborne and Halliday, then you have Manley and Butterworth, and then Creasy and Baker. It's 2x2x2x2.
Yeah, well, if you're thinking of shoving the whole lot of them into an arc, I think it could be a very dark place. Right, let's have a look at what Wainwright's doing. Yeah, Josh has definitely got a fight on his hand, I think. I don't know if Josh is getting aboard down there. I'm pretty sure Nicky gets aboard, and well, it's easy when you've got somebody like that. You can just read the board, because that'll tell you the gap from the second to the first. Wait and see if we see any change at all at any point, but I have to say it's going to take a big old twitch from Josh Wainwright, who's had a very good weekend, not just in the power bikes, but also of course on the two-stroke Chris Rose's little TZ350 there, so we'll have to wait and see if he can do the business out there. On to the back straight we go then. Fly down there. I'd love to know what they're peaking out at, but I think we're looking at about 170, 180, something like that down the back.
150, I reckon.
Yeah, I think fair call on that one. I think you're absolutely right, mate.
Wainwright's pulled out 0.8 of a second in that first sector there, Keith. He's done a 1 minute 16.2 in the first sector compared to Nicky Wilson's 1:17 flat. And here they come around Corrington, and there it is.
Yeah.
Right in front of you,
well, to be fair to Josh, he's a lot more race fit than Nicky. I mean, I wouldn't ever say Nicky's not fit. I mean, anybody can do ultra marathons. You know, that quick 5 mile swim in the morning, followed by what is it? The
100-something mile cycle ride.
Yeah, followed by a marathon. I'm not going to ever call him unfit, but a race fit is a different thing. Of course, it's a mental as well as a physical thing. Oh, there we go over the line, Halliday and Osborne there. So it looks like Halliday's got the upper hand this time. So finally, George has done it. Looks like Butterworth has managed to put Manley behind him by about a second. In fact, that's exactly a second, is it? No, it's 1:008. Can't see it in the setting sun. Creasy and Baker. They're still separated by a second there as well. Kraviecki on that lovely sounding R1. Do like the nose of that bike, that particular cross-plane crank R1. It just has a really crisp sound to it, doesn't it? I do wonder if it's a power thing or just a marketing thing. Butterworth leads the retro class, ahead of Donovan there. It's Tyler Donovan, Dan Mercer and Alex Simon. They have their own battle as well, actually. We've not spotted that one. I think Alex Simon must have had a bit of a wobble out there, because all of a sudden he goes 4 seconds slower than his rival Mercer, so he must have had a bit of an excursion or a late break moment somewhere around the circuit, because he loses a place on the back of it, and with the place he loses a medal as well. So let's see if Alex can get back on terms with Dan down there. Having a look at their fastest laps, they're very similar, separated by about a tenth or so. So I don't know if he's going to be able to pull that one out of the hat, because they are running out of laps very quickly, because we're going to be seeing the checkered flag.
Yeah, absolutely.
Checkered flag very soon, because that last lap flag is now being shown to most of the runners and riders, and we're just waiting for Mr. Wainwright. He'll be coming back into our view very shortly, I think, at Corums. Right on cue. Thank you very much indeed, Josh. Being pursued by Nicky Wilson, and yeah, Nicky's dropped right off the pace there. And look at the sector times. Last time round, the first sector, mate, Wainwright went quicker than anybody, which was 2.2 seconds quicker than Wilson. So that's the sort of pace. Josh is absolutely dominating proceedings as he comes across the line and takes the fastest second sector. Does a 1:54.263. So the lap record is safe for another year, AJ. But Nicky Wilson, 4.5 seconds back. Then it's George Halliday comes across the line in third place. So well-deserved medal for his reward over the weekend. Sam Osborne Steve Butterworth takes another retro win ahead of Callum Manley, who claims the Clubman win ahead of Morgan Creasy. Creasy's a Clubman. How can he Creasy be a Clubman? I mean, Manley, I get, it's only his second year racing. Anyway, Pete Baker there in 8th place, David Krekoviecki in 9th, Tyler Donovan 10th, Barry Mantell in 11th place. Next across the line in 12th place, it will be Dan Mercer, who does indeed take 3rd of the retro class. Simon hangs on to 4th, so gets no, he doesn't actually, because that's Collins coming across the line in 4th ahead of James Vincent. Then it's Alex Simon. He doesn't actually lose 4th in class though, so that's the important thing for him. Then it's Ben Cheeseman, Andy Houghton, Martin Dello, Pays Gregorio. Okay.